Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. It is 6:24 a.m. in my locale. All right, so let's see. I'm feeling much better. That's first thing. I got about 7.5 hours of sleep last night, and that's a good thing. Okay, that means that I'm a little bit better. However, there's always a little, for every sunshine, there's a little rain, right? The weather's been flopping up and down by about 10 degrees. And the other end is that my knees and my ankles are sore between constantly being on my feet all day and, just normal aging and all that, they're a little sore. So when I woke up this morning, I had to go stretch. And that seems to be one of the things I hear the most about people my age is resistance bands are great, stretching is great. Just get those things warmed up because you've been sitting all night and they've just been not moving. So I advise anybody to go outside and stretch whenever you can, or use resistance bands, or do something to keep those joints mobile. That's not to say that my knee does not hurt when I'm walking around sometimes during the day, but it does mean that it's not hurting enough to stop me, which is the most important thing. So yesterday, yesterday was a weird day. Yesterday I did 2 bayside tours. The captain and I got to the boat and it was filthy, which is not the way we're supposed to be leaving things, right? So he and I, before we even went anywhere, all right, we put gas in it, we scrubbed the decks, we hosed them down, we hit the motors, we did all that stuff. So it looked much better. He went into the main area where the marina is, and he lodged his official complaint. He went, "This is unacceptable." He got a little bit of the soft shoe, which you expect. And, again, strong leadership, visible, felt leadership would have said, okay, would either have sent an email or called everybody else in the room and would have said, look, these are our expectations. Here it is. If they're trying to contain overtime, we'll let you leave early the next day. However, you don't leave a vessel looking like this. You don't leave your car a mess. Sorry, Carrie. You leave your car a mess. You don't leave your car a mess. You don't leave your boat a mess. You don't leave your RV a mess. You don't leave your house a mess. Adults clean up after themselves, especially when you're going to be dealing with the public. So we did 2 bayside tours, which were nice. Nice people, smaller groups, nice people. The backcountry tour runs 4 times a day, so there were like loads and loads and loads of people on that. So I'll be running that today. So that's fine by me. We did check the boat last night when we got in, and it was clean. It looks like they hosed it off. Looks like they gassed it up. That was a change. Somebody must have said something somewhere, but I've worked overtime the last 2 or 3 days. I'm sure that one of these days, I'll if I'm working a tour, and I'll just say I'm leaving, and that way they can reclaim their overtime, and they're going to be okay with that. They are, and let's see. After the 2 bayside tours, the captain had to go move some houseboats. So I sprayed down the decks, hit the engine. We did hit some mud, so I flushed the engines clean. I scrubbed the impellers out. I made sure everything was good and groovy. And then I walked over and they said, "Nope, you're going to run the chase boat for the captain." I went, "Alrighty, Roo." And so then I ran the chase boat twice. And we got back about 6. So that's about 45 minutes late. But, we had to go one houseboat, come out, come back, the other houseboat, go out, come back. And then we had to gas up the chase boat, make sure that was clean, and move on. So all in all, it was a good day. It was just tiring. And after being up at 2 o'clock in the morning and then doing all that, I had dinner, Queso had dinner, we were just fine. And then at some point in time, about 8 o'clock last night, we went, I'm going to bed. And I got up at 20 after 4 because the big guy had to go to the bathroom. That's it. And now here we are with coffee. Breakfast is in a couple of minutes for both of us. And then we're going to move on with our day and we're going to see what happens, which I will go backwards. Today is backcountry. And that means it's 8:30, 4:30. I'll be working with the other captain I worked with before. We know the boat is clean. It just needs to be wiped down. We know it's gassed up, so it just needs to be checked. So we'll be ready for our 9 o'clock tour pretty quickly, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. So it's going to be some fun today. Little sore. I'm a little sore, but you know what? You know, you got to go back in time. I got hit with that high level of fatigue. Then I slept. Then I got hit with insomnia. Then I slept. This is the life of a hermit sometimes. You just have to cope and deal with it. Rolling Stone said you don't always get what you want. So, hey, man, I didn't get 3 days of 7 hour solid sleep. That's it. Last night it did. And now tonight I'm going, okay, what's going to happen next? We'll take it as it comes. We can't control that. We'll just look at the situation. We'll come up with good actions and move around those situations. But let's start back and forth. Let's go with our daily Zen poem, which is really pretty. The sun shines warmly, the spring snow clears, the jaws of the plum and the face of the willow vie with their fragrant freshness. The occasion for poetry and spiritual diversion hold boundless meaning, permitted only to the person who wanders in the fields and arduously composes poetry. Daito Kokushi no year. That makes a lot of sense because I'm in the winter season, the dry season right now, and so some of the plants are in bloom, some of the plants aren't in bloom, right? And as for fragrant freshness, what we're seeing is all the ospreys, pretty much all the eggs are hatched. So it's noisy all the time as you're walking around. You can hear mom, you can hear dad, you can hear the babies. Life has begun again, and that's beautiful. Spiritual diversion. Yeah, that's a toughie, right? Poetry. Sometimes I get the mood and something strikes me and I write. I send it to you know who. She never responds. So, I'd like to be the person that wanders around. I'm happy. And I will say at work, because we have more people. And again, for those of you considering this lifestyle choice, the benefit of being a hermit is less people. When you have less people around, you have less drama, which I'm allergic to. It makes me break out in facts and screaming. So we're watching those cliques form I talked about months ago. They're here. Here they go. I'm not in any one of those, as far as I'm aware. And I'm hearing people complain about other people because they've been here for months. And that means inside of my other ear, right back here, I hear if they're whining about another employee, then they're probably whining about me. However, what anybody thinks of me is none of my business. And even more importantly, I can't give it a consideration because it's their opinion, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody has and it all smells like yep. Go to work, mind my business, do my stuff, be pleasant and cheerful. If you like me, fantastic. If you don't like me, I can't, unless you want to have that conversation with me about what your problem is, and I'll buy the coffee, then it becomes your problem and not mine. And I cannot give it a moment of thought, process, or anything. I need to walk away from that and go, if you don't want to resolve it like an adult, whatever your issue is, small or large, then it's yours to have. And until you decide to do something about it and you just want to chew your soup, chew your soup. I have other things that are more meaningful that I need to do than listen to you complain. You want to treat me like garbage? Go ahead. I'll work very well with you. You don't want to talk? That's fine and dandy. I will still treat you with the amount of respect and courtesy because we have a job to do. Now, we get out of work, I don't have to deal with you. You don't exist anymore. And that's the beauty of being a hermit. Again, if you are considering this lifestyle choice, that's the other benefit. When you leave whatever you're doing, your occupation, whatever it is, clock out, go home, sit in your easy chair, go for a walk. All of these people and their nonsense just evaporates. The whole thing could fall into the sea and it would not affect you in one little bit. That level of peace is probably the most important thing you have as a hermit. Your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions, your BS, your drama, it works over. Good night, everyone. I will see you later. As soon as you turn your back, they stop existing. Any stress you would have built up over the day from that just disappears. You're not going to exist until 8:30 tomorrow morning again. Then I'll be back, and we will approach the responsibilities we need to take again. If you are considering this as a lifestyle choice, I'm going to tell you it doesn't make you popular, but it makes you happy. And if you're not happy, then let's face it, who else is going to make you happy? You've heard this before. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. Moving on to our daily rune pull, because this video is getting a little long and philosophical. Let's see what we got today. Okay. I'm going to flip this over so you can see it. Okay. This is the way I pulled it out. So it looks like the greater than symbol, and that's Kano. But I believe it is reversed. So let me check that out in the big book of things. It is reversed. So let's see. Opening 111. All right. We're getting there. All right. Here. It's a rune of fire. Opening torch. Renewed clarity. Dispelling darkness. Relationships. Mutual open. Keep where you've pulled this. Okay. The reversed is a darkening of a light in some situation or relationship, a friendship, maybe dying, a partnership, or a marriage. Some aspect of yourself that is no longer appropriate to the person you are now, and receiving this rune puts you on notice that the failure to face up to the death consciously would constitute a loss of opportunity. But Kano is one of the cycle runes. Here we go again. Reversed, it points to the death as a way of life invalidated by growth. You must give up gladly the old and be prepared to live for a time empty, and it calls for developing inner stability and not being seduced by the momentum of the old ways while waiting for the new ones to become illuminated in their proper time. Well, we've been having that roller coaster for a couple days. It's been the whole up. You're doing things, you're achieving, you're this and that, and then you got to also come down that roller coaster where you start going, okay, what do I need to get rid of? What am I chasing that maybe isn't appropriate for me at this time or is beyond what I can reach? Okay. Could be anything. Maybe you want to walk 5 miles a day and you can't walk 5 miles a day. You either don't have the time in your schedule or you're not physically capable of it. So you might have to give up and go, I'm going to walk 2 miles today until the system comes around again, the cycle comes around again, and then I can start doing it again. I consider that to be kind of hopeful because it means that now, as we've been working very steadily toward doing different things, what's going to happen next? We're going to have to spend some time looking at those things that we may or may not need, or things that we want, but we have to admit to ourselves is beyond us at this time. And we have to be happy living without those things for a little while until the cycle starts again. So I consider that to be hopeful. Speaking of hopeful, hey, come here. Oh, the rubby. Oh, yes, I love the belly. Yes, I know it's warm in there. I will put you back in the warm in a minute. Our obligatory case of, well, it starts with a snort. And he's going, say hi. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Anything else? All right. Thank you for that. Oh, he looks back at the bed. He's like, can I go back to bed, please? Thank you very much. All right, so again, today's plan is to work. We're going to go to work. And Again, we're dealing with little clicks and issues. That doesn't bother me at all. The reason I mention it is because we did talk about this a little while ago about how this was going to happen. More people, more situations like this, more problems. And I'm also seeing people leave. They're either frustrated, they're tired, they're bored, they're whatever. Okay, that is going to happen too. Hopefully, we will not lose too much talent, but it seems to be a cycle, which sounds familiar, right? We hire these people, they seem to be talented, they gain skills, they do this, and then all of a sudden they leave. I used to work for a company when I was out of college, and what they would do is they felt that anybody that had a college degree could learn a particular skill. Once people learn the skill between 12 and 18 months after they had practiced the skill at this company at a very low rate of pay, probably moderate rate of pay way back in the day, they would take that skill to a larger company and they'd be paid like twice as much for the same skill. And the company I worked for didn't really care that much. What they would say is, that's okay, well, there's another crop of people who have a degree that we can teach this skill to. And they would just start over again. So they didn't have so much of a revolving door, but every 12 to 18 months, a lot of the faces would change. And that's what's happening here. And given the work situation as it stands today, that's going to happen a lot. So my goal is to be very Buddhist about it and try to be gentle on the earth, try to be gentle at work. Yeah, a little bit of fun. We have we goof around with the employees or me and the customers, but don't get attached. Because when they go, some of them are seasonal, right? So they'll be going. It's going to be February. They're only going to be here another 2 months, and they're gone. They're going different places. Some of these people follow the work, and some of these people just go, "No, I'm not living here in the summer." Okay, you're not living here in the summer, and then we'll start over again. That cycle will repeat, and I will be here until either I'm not having any fun or something falls into me that says this is a better opportunity for a hermit to do now. And then we will make changes. And then, of course, there is the big thing, which is I get that phone call and I get, come on back. It'll be all right. And then I can do that for a cycle. And that cycle will be until I crack like an egg from control, nonsense, BS, garbage, whatever. And again, they will find me one night behind the couch, muttering to myself while the dinner's ready in the crock pot, the dogs are all ready, the house is clean, and they're going to cart me off as either a nut job, maybe a domestic terrorist, whatever they want to put the label on, but they're going to tow me away because my brain will have broken. Worth it for one person, but until then, being a hermit is way worth it for me. For those of you who are considering a unique or different lifestyle choice, minimalism and Hermitage is really good. Is really a good job. So consider it for yourselves if you are unhappy with your surroundings, your situation, the behavior of the people around you. You may want to consider that quiet and that solitude as a way back to your own mental health and your peace. And on that, I am going to grab a shower. I am going to go to work. I am going to feed queso, not in that direct order. And you guys should be the people who wander in the fields and arduously compose poetry. And I can hear the ospreys now. Have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Don't get in too much trouble. Just enough to make it fun, but not enough where you need to be bailed out. See you tomorrow.